Who here considers themselves traditional? Starting with you. Go ahead.
I have some traditional viewpoints.
Yeah, I think in your notes here you said you're open-minded traditional.
I am, yeah.
So are you traditional?
I'm open-minded traditional.
What? I'm not
You can have more than just one viewpoint.
But if you were to categorize yourself generally, would you categorize yourself as traditional? A traditional woman?
I am a traditional woman on the inside. Aside from what I convey to the world and what I do for a living, my own inner values are traditional.
Okay. Wait, before I have
Would you
anybody...
determine that somebody who claimed that they were not a communist, but went to every single communist rally that there was and wore a communist uniform and wore a nice little communist hat and did nothing but speak about how much they loved communism, but then said privately to you, secretly on the inside, I'm not really a communist. What do you think people would think? Do you think people would believe them?
You just called me or equated me to a communist.
No, I'm asking you a literal
quick.
I'm not only am I not calling you a communist, I'd like to know the answer to this question. If somebody, all they did was talk about how great communism was and they wore a little hat and a uniform and just ran around saying communism is the greatest thing ever, would you believe them that privately they just really don't like it though?
It's
internally they're really a capitalist.
Quick answer to this, please, because this is a question for everyone.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'm traditional. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty traditional. Yeah.
Besides from my occupation, yes, I am.
Sorry.
Besides from my occupation, yes, I am.
Yes.
I would say I'm pretty traditional, yeah.
Traditional
Woman.
Okay. So traditional.
What makes you a traditional woman?
You guys are not traditional to be like, well, I don't know about like you three, you, and you, because you're engaged in sex work.
So I don't
You're not traditional.
Well, I did say that I'm not looking for marriage right now or a relationship either.
Yeah, but
so
it's just like you're not a traditional woman.
With that being said, I'm not right now, but when I'm not working and stuff like that. And
but how can you hold those traditional values but still engage in something that goes completely against what
I said? Whenever I do end up wanting to find a husband in the future, I wouldn't be doing this at that point anymore. And then would I be a traditional woman?
Right, but currently you can have like traditional values of what you want to be in the future. I understand that, but you're living a lifestyle now that is not portraying that at all, so you can't necessarily.
And I said that when I said my answer. I said besides my occupation, no. But
then what makes you a traditional woman?
I have traditional values,
What
but
are
I'm
those?
not dating, so I don't apply those to my everyday life.
What are your traditional values?
What do I believe traditional values are?
What are your traditional values?
I'm not applying those because I'm not looking
But
for...
you just said you are.
But just in general, like you're not dating, you said outside of your occupation, you're a traditional woman. So what is a traditional woman if you had to, X, Y, and Z?
Like, what would I label as a traditional woman? Okay. Somebody that takes care of, like, the house, takes care of the kids, cooks,
You don't
cleans.
want kids, right?
That's what I'm labeling as a traditional woman. Is that what you're? Is that what you were asking? Okay, so.
Go ahead.
Let us assume for a moment, if you don't mind, that a person came over to you and said that they were a Christian who worshiped Satan. Would you believe that they were a Christian?
No.
You and all your little analogies.
If a person came over to you and said, I'm a Christian and I worship Satan, would you believe that they were a Christian?
I said you and your little analogies. I'm not answering.
I know what you said, so I just reasserted the question in hopes, maybe in vain, that you would actually answer it.
I'm not answering your question.
Whoa, hold on. That question doesn't reveal any... I can see why you objected to the body count question earlier.
No, I'm not answering it just because it's like, that's not what we're talking about.
He's using it as a comparison.
No, I
because-
understand that, but he's been doing that a lot.
And
Yeah, I know.
There's
I
nothing
do-
wrong
I do
with
tend
it.
to test people's logic and their worldview so that I can apply whether or not they're being consistent with their own framework. And so what you said
I said
here,
when
and
I'm
I'm not
ready
beating
to
up on. Listen,
retire
I
from
don't
this
care
industry-
about your past. I don't give a shit about any of that. All I care about is what you said. So what you said right now is this. You said, right now I'm not a traditional woman. I concede that that's true. But in the future, I want to be and can be a traditional woman then, later, right? Okay, got it. So all I'm doing is just setting the foundation to show you kind of the absurdity here. If
It's
a
not
Christian came to you and
absurdity.
said that they were a Christian
It's
but
not
worship Satan,
it's not
would you believe
absurdity.
them?
It's not absurdity.
Do you?
Well, hang on. I can demonstrate to you how absurd it is. Just answer the question.
No, because it's
Would-
not absurdity.
Would you, if a Christian came to you and said that they worship Satan, would you believe they were a Christian?
It's not absurdity to
Here,
me.
answer.
Okay.
Engage with his
Okay,
question.
well, let me just ask the second part then, because we know the obvious here. If a Christian came to you and said, I'm a Christian, but I worship Satan, but later on, I'm going to worship Jesus, would you believe them then?
No clue.
No clue.
Are you just not going to engage in good faith with his question? It's a totally fair question to ask.
And you can ask one back. I'm not adverse to you asking me questions back. Like that's
I'm
what
just
engage.
saying
Like the
what my
okay, so this
opinion
chick over
is. I
here,
don't
we
need to
we're
jump
going
through,
back
like,
and
the
forth for
hoops
a bunch of this, but
You think it's absurd. I don't think it's absurd. Can we agree to disagree? Because we're adults.
May
No,
I?
exactly.
no, we
so
can't.
I'm
Well,
okay.
I don't want to agree.
I agree to
I don't want to
disagree,
agree
so-
to disagree because that's like saying this.
So you,
I think murder's great. You think murder's not great. Can we agree to disagree?
those are two-way, totally different things.
Yeah, but when we're testing
We're
morals,
talking
they're
about
not.
me being a traditional woman if I ever decide to even want to get married. Those are
So,
two-way
to clarify,
different things.
you're saying right now that like in the future you have the potential to become a traditional woman and you could see yourself becoming
Yes.
that basically. Okay.
Right now, I know.
Right. Okay.
It's not that hard to understand.
Did you say you want to say something?
Yeah, so let me correct myself. I do not consider myself a traditional woman as of right now.
Wait, you just said you are.
No, well, that's what I'm saying. Let me correct myself.
Oh,
But I
okay,
do
correct,
have
alright.
those beliefs, like, in the back of my mind.
What
you know.
traditional values do you hold on to?
Being a staying-at-home mom, not wearing the pants in the relationship, cooking, cleaning,
Is there
quitting my
any-
job for my husband.
Is there anything stopping you? Like, is that finding a traditional man who wants you? Is that what's stopping you from being traditional?
Well, yeah, as of right now, I feel like no man would want to date a stripper. You know, they're not going to want to take me seriously.
Hold on.